So our soul-sucking effect here, we want to see these black and white colors moving out, but we also want to distort the background a little bit to add really cool effect there. So what I'll do is, first I'll hit U to collapse all of these keyframes with nothing selected. I'll click on my soul layer, and what I want to do is, I want to use this to drive a distortion map. So I'll create another adjustment layer with Control-Alt-Y, Control-Alt-Y. I'll name it distortion, and I'll apply the displacement map effect. For the displacement map layer, we'll select soul, and we'll change it from source to effects and masks. And if we increase this from 5 to, let's say, 50 in each red and green, we can really see how extreme of a difference this makes. Just by toggling on and off this effects button, you can see it's adding a lot of distortion, but it's not quite in the right place. And I think that's because the position keyframes that we added here are not being seen by this layer. So we just need to pre-comp this. So let's grab our soul layer, let's hit Control-Shift-C to pre-comp, and we want to move all these attributes, all these keyframes that we've made into this new composition called soul. Hit OK. And now our distortion layer is looking at kind of a baked out version of this. We can isolate this layer and you'll see it's just the soul. It's not the original footage because this is now a pre-comp. So now we should be able to see the distortion appearing in the right spot, and it is. I can see this movement happening when I toggle back and forth. I want it to be even more extreme, so I'm going to change it to 100 and 100. And I'm also going to put this distortion below the soul layer because I want the detail of the soul not to be distorted. I just want the background to be distorted. And you could even just go with the distortion and not use the soul itself, and you can see there's a pretty cool effect there. But I'm going to add the soul on top as well. And in this part, I'm noticing that the fog we added is just a little too bright and blue. So I'm going to keyframe the histogram here, change to my blue channel, and just adjust this until I'm happy with the color. Yeah, just bring a little bit of that blue out. Looks like my soul layer lost its blend mode when we pre-comped it, so I'm just going to set this to, actually I think I want to set it to add, and that's going to make it pretty bright, but if I bring down the opacity by hitting T and dragging the opacity slider down, that effect will be much more subtle. So I'm going to bring this all the way down to around 40% or so. Let's see how that looks. So I'm pretty happy with this result. I think I'd make a couple more tweaks, like making him a little bluer, adjusting the color of the fog, adjusting the color of the soul. It's a little bit too bright. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'll leave it here. Feel free to keep adjusting on your own, and let me know if you have any questions.